Several hundred people have died at the hands of self-appointed crime fighters across the country in South Africa. Vigilante organizations continue, and the police, that is the official crime fighters, are left helpless and to pick up the pieces. We're coming to you in Harry Smith, and of course you're at home are welcome to join in the conversation. This is People's Imbizo, brought to you by ANN7. I'll be your host, Audrey Chimanda. As usual, I have a panel with me that will be crossing a live to in a few minutes. We also have members of the audience from the community who are reeling from the death of a 7-year-old girl who was found mutilated in the mountains. Also, the community seems to have taken the matter into their own hands. To those details in just a few minutes, I'll allow my panel to introduce themselves to you. Starting to my left, sir, if you would please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Mlungisi Mavuso, the MMC of IDP and PMS at Malutapofu, but for today's event, I'm an acting mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Audrey. My name is Tesho Twala. I'm representing the community.
Yes, next.
Thank you, Audrey. My name is Metsing Mpakati. I'm the PR Council for Democratic Alliance in this municipality, Malutapofu municipality.
Okay, thank you. And Brigadier?
Thank you, ma'am. Brigadier Mufari from Putarichaba. I'm the station commander, and currently I'm representing Mayor General Moloi, who is not available.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll start with you, Acting Executive Mayor Mavuso. We seem to be coming from a community that is in pain. There's issues of mob justice, others call it vigilante organizations that are operating in this community. Was this an isolated situation, or are we seeing a lot of these cases coming through? Of course, I'll get the Brigadier to respond to that. Just your understanding of what is happening in this community.
No, let me take this opportunity, Audrey. In fact, this is not an isolated case. These things are usually happening in our area. It's just that it doesn't get necessary publicity so that it could be known that in Harrismith or at Intabazo there is something that have happened. It usually happens, but this one was totally a different one from the others because of the, if you check the age limit of the victim, I think that's the most thing that have escalated this thing to be widely known.
But would you agree with me, Brigadier, that when we have cases of vigilante organizations or what is also known as mob justice, there's a power vacuum that has been created where we have the community stepping up and, you know, not feeling that they have the trust that they should have from the police? Do you think perhaps this is what happened in this case, or just generally in mob cases?
One cannot rule out what you are indicating. There could be an element of mistrust to us at a certain point. There could be an element also of maybe not being satisfied with the manner in which we react to the situations. But most importantly is the manner in which we communicate our frustrations, the manner in which we communicate our displeasure. Like I said, in this particular case, I have indicated the information that we got is not what we have in terms of the investigation.
Okay. And perhaps just to get more details on this case, because I think it is important that we clarify exactly what is happening. I understand it's a case that is still in court and we have to be sensitive about these details. But just so we understand exactly what is happening, Sergeant Marco Mopiring, I understand you are in the audience. Perhaps you could tell us what transpired here so we can work with facts only.
Okay, thank you very much. It's Sergeant Marco Mopiring, the Public Relations Officer in the Putarichaba cluster. On the day of the events that folded, it was an unfortunate incident that took place on the day, whereby the community members in that on that day, unfortunately, they went berserk to an extent that they tried to satellite the 56-year-old woman with the information that they received according to the death that has took place, or the findings that they have already found of the 7-year-old who has been killed. Now, as the incidents were unfolding, that's where some of our police officials who were there, who wanted to rescue the situation, yes, some of them managed to rescue the situation and removed the woman who's alleged to be a victim in that, a suspect in that case, who also is alleged to be a Sangom. They removed her there, but unfortunately we've got 2 of our vehicles which were there. It's a sedan together with a buggy or a van, if one may call it. Unfortunately, those cars were banned as we are speaking. We've got the militias of those 2 vehicles that belongs to the police.
Sergeant, thank you so much for giving us those details. We certainly appreciate it. At least now we know exactly what we're dealing with. So it has been confirmed that a body of a 7-year-old girl was indeed found killed, and a suspect suffered at the hands of vigilante organizations in this community. This is obviously a symptom of a bigger problem. I'll come to you, Councillor Mitsing. You know, when it comes to crime in communities and when we have community members taking the law into their own hands, it is very clear that it is not, it is illegal. The community is not supposed to do that. But what are the symptoms of the bigger problem that we're seeing here?
Thank you very much, Audrey. I think I will have to start by saying the acknowledgement from Brigadier here, they are quite actually clear to me. But at the same time, we need to check. I cannot condone, as a PR councillor or as a councillor or a public figure in this municipality, I cannot condone that behavior where people are actually taking the law on their hands. But at the same time, we need to make a rank check to see what actually pushed the community to end up acting like this. If maybe we had a case of, we have a reported case where we were saying there's a missing child here, so that we need the help from the police officers or from the justice system. And then we are actually experiencing problems of getting help in terms of having the bikes or the vans to help the community. You will end up having the community acting like this. But as a public figure, I cannot condone that. If we cannot get help from the stations, we should actually resort to these actions. No.
Right. Mr. Twala, is there high crime in this community?
Thank you, Audrey, for giving me this opportunity. Not only me, even the audience were there. I heard when you start talking, you talk about the pain. It's not just the pain. It's more than a pain, as I'm sitting here. Firstly, you and your entire team, thank you very much. On one condition, for bringing people who are far away from us. I'm talking about the leadership of SAPS. These people are far away from us. We only managed to meet them because of you guys. And I give bravo to you.
Well, thank you very much, sir. That is the objective of shows
Yes.
like this, to go to the grassroots
We're
level
supposed to have
their voices heard.
Yes, we're supposed to have these sittings beside the media, solving the problems. But unfortunately, it's not happening. The crime is more than high in this area. Small town like this, people are not, police are not working. I have evidences and evidences of saying police are not working. Firstly, I will say to you, I think Mr. Mpiring is here. Check the harassment stats from February until maybe August. We were in charge, helping this community to be safe. But neither of them who came to us and say, congratulations, guys. But instead, we're being called by names. As I'm sitting here, my name is no longer Tesho. I'm a big fish. By their officials. And our guys here are being called the same names. Unfortunately, when all these things are happening, we are not there. Immediately we stopped doing the patrols, moving around. I'm telling you now, as I'm sitting here, 4 people died because of mob justice. I don't know whether me and my team, we were doing that, but unfortunately, as I'm sitting here, police station is full of stolen goods because of me and my team. But neither of them who's saying congratulations. I'm speaking of the leadership. I'm speaking of Mr. Mavoso next to me. I'm speaking of Mr. Mpiring and the team. And I'm not happy because people who always come to us all when they introduce themselves from Putachaba. Where is the people from Harrismith? Are these people sitting with us on daily basis, on daily problems? They take long to get the information.
And all the leadership is here for you to have this open discussion. But I think very important, I'll come back to you, Mr. Twala, is to also speak to community members that are in the crowd today, so you can share your stories with us, the pain that is palpable in this community. As we're driving here, it appears to be a very peaceful community. There's kids that are playing in the streets, but obviously there's the other side, the darkness that also happens, not only in the dark, but sometimes during the day. I don't know who would like to share their story with us today. Yes, sir, please stand up. Can we have a microphone here?
Thank you very much, Audrey, and the team, together with the community that is suffering like myself. I just want to add on what Tesho have already alluded to. We have the police by name, or police stations. We are seated with the problem where sometimes you'll find the police station locked. People are sleeping. Locked, literally locked. Gates are locked. But people are sleeping on duty. This is the situation. It's true to say we don't want to expose people. If we were those people, we're supposed to have taken videos and everything and send them to the minister. I'm standing up here to confirm the fact that Honorable Mare, I don't know whether he's around or what, I sometimes fought with my team, with our team and Tesho, because of one person, Mare. He's not willing to cooperate with us and some of the police. We have got police who have got a very serious attitude. My question was to say to them, what is a meaning of crime prevention? Because by crime prevention, for you to fight crime, this morning, in fact, from this week, minister released the statement to say, to fight crime is my responsibility, and it starts with me as the minister and goes down to the community. If you don't want to mobilize community as to how should you be assisted as the police, we went to Mr. Mare, engaged with him. Instead, he wanted to reduce us into CPF, the structure that has been manipulated by them. Yes.
And so if I can just ask you from the community that you're representing today, as a leader, what measures do you put in place to make sure that community members do not take the law into their own hands and end up murdering a suspect who hasn't been tried in a court of law? And in the same breath, I understand your frustrations that perhaps the criminal justice system is not performing as fast as you'd like them to do. But what responsibility do you take as well as a community member to make sure that doesn't happen?
From the 27th of April, we took it upon ourselves to mobilize, to call public meetings and said, we want to be the community patrollers, not CPF, the community patrollers. We want to be rooted in the streets of the community. Reason, we don't want to blame the police for something that they cannot do sometimes. Reason why we wanted to, those structures, we establish the street committees, street by street, because even if you can have five police cars, but they cannot be in each and every street at once in the township. The reason we wanted to make it simple for them, hence Tesho was saying, we have got a number of stolen goods in the police station, but at no stage where we were called to say, come and witness.
I'll come back to you in a few minutes. I just want to come back to Mr. Mavuso. What is your understanding of this breakdown in communication, sir, as you're standing in for the executive mayor, between the community and, you know, those that are policing within the community and the official crime fighters themselves? There seems to be not that cohesion that is needed for the police to be able to do their job, that are also being found wanting by the community, and those that are taking it upon themselves in the community to take care of their families and protect them.
Yeah. Your question that you have just raised, I think somehow, we are not a federal state in South Africa. We are a unitary state. We work as an organ. It's one organ. We've got three spheres of government: national, provincial, local. If we find at the grassroots level, where we start at local, akuna mutual understanding, I think kunamagqathu omele mhlambe wathathe undlulele khona. As I explained ukuthi, I acknowledge and we appreciate what they were doing. The most important thing currently umele ngabe sikhuluma ngayo thina manje ukuthi yes, nazi inkinga sivelile zikhona. What we gonna do now? What we are supposed to do now, than ukuthi ngifake umunwe ukumunye esweni. Into omele size nayo manje thina isombululo.
I think part of solving the problem is also acknowledging where, you know, a person falls short. And I think that is what we're trying to establish as we started this program. I think it was important for people to say exactly how they're feeling, where they feel they have been shortchanged either by the police or by the community or, you know, whoever, the major stakeholders, which are ultimately the community. So that was important to happen. Now that we've gotten past that, let's start looking for solutions. I'll start with you once again, Brigadier. What do you need from the community for you to be able to help them when they come to you knocking on the door at police stations to say, we've got a case, this is what has happened in my community, I need your help? What do you need from them for you to have a solid case so you can go out there and look for the suspects and do what you're supposed to do as the police? What has been lacking so far that hasn't given you that, of course you have the authority, but that hasn't allowed you to do that up to now?
Thank you very much. Fundamentally and critically so, dealing with the attitude of somebody is a very difficult thing. And for us to address this attitude, I would indicate that in the police we have code of conduct. Any member of our organization who misbehave, I would request that the community must immediately report to us. If the station commander in that particular station is not of assistance, please report either to the general of this cluster, myself. If you don't find any assistance from us, report to the province. We have our contact numbers available in the police stations. We will even make them available today to our communities. I think that is one point.
The problem that Mr. Strala was speaking of, that they find that sometimes the leadership of the South African Police Service is not reachable. It is out of reach, you know, from the people. So I think it is important to open that door to make sure that they know where to reach you. Mr. Twala, you want to say something? 1,
2, 3 from one school.
And what cases are these that we're talking about?
One of the schools, breaking, not only these papers. Unfortunately, the principal was busy. Principal was supposed to be here. That school stopped because we started visiting that school. Stopped because we took our people, put them there to say it's enough. But the police are not doing their job. They are so quick to bring these papers. Very clever. Still investigating. I don't know whether they get appraisal about this.
And the papers that you're holding, Mr. Twala, would be?
Are all the cases that I keep on saying still investigating.
Right.
Still investigating. We have someone here who have been stabbed very badly. I'm telling you, that person who stabbed this guy, we end up watching that person at hospital without the police. We handed him in because people end up beating him. We managed to save that person. Police took him to hospital. But when we get into hospital, how? Why lo muntalela one? I'm a place up. You know, it was like a joke. It was like a movie when they're saying, why don't you arrest this person? Where's the police who's watching? Because this person is a suspect. This guy managed to jump on the bed when he saw the person who stabbed him. Yeah, he's in front of me. I'm not taking. But look, still investigating. Move all the detectives in Harrismith. They're not working. Move all the detectives. Now I'm coming with the solutions. Move all the detectives in Harrismith. They're not working. Don't go to the media and talk. Your people are not working here in Harrismith. Bona, go now. Unfortunately, why we didn't mobilize the community? The situation was going to be worse than this. These people are good. Others will watch on TV. Right. The reason after that, what happened with the young kid, we didn't want to interfere because students were still writing exams. And the situation in that day was going to be worse than this. Yeah. Even you, as you're sitting here, if this hall was full, if that's why I'm saying it's not just the pain, It's more than a pain.
Very powerful moment right there, where you can actually look into the eyes of the authorities and explain to them. I mean, the pain is very clear in your eyes from the community as well. There's also issues of complex legal systems in South Africa. Do members of the community understand what happens from the time that they report a case, the processes that happen within the police station as they investigate, to the point that a person is then taken to court, or whether or not they're given bail? I think it is important for community members to understand that. Sergeant, perhaps you'll take us very quickly through that very short crash course.
Just in addition to the last speaker as a way forward, I take note on what they have indicated. I will deliver this message to the principals about the proposed solution by the community. Yes, I wanted to indicate that let's have these things that are, angering us. Let's have discussed them in the formal structures. We have the Community Policing Forum, which represent our communities. Let's articulate all those concerns in that particular forum, whereby we sit with the station management and discuss it. In a situation where we don't find any joy, we have the cluster board meeting, which is above the station CPF. Let's also discuss that in our meetings. Further than that, we have this multidisciplinary approach that we are using. That means we have your NPA, justice, the police, Community Policing Forum representing the communities, discussing exactly what we have just indicated. Sometimes you will say, this is a person who did this. You quickly go out and arrest the person, and we don't have the evidence to take this person far away. In our meetings, we start to sit down and talk about these issues. One thing, for instance, your imbizos. Let's have our community imbizos structured in this kind of situation. Let our leaders come and we explain what our communities need. So that when we arrest somebody, at least we can even link this person to a point that the NPA will be saying, yes, we are prosecuting because we have all the evidence against this particular person.
And what do you need, Brigadier? That's what I'm trying to understand. Perhaps if you can explain to the community that is here today, from the moment that a person goes to the police station to report their case, what happens, what are the proper procedures that are taken that a person needs to understand, so they can also follow through their case and have the satisfaction and confidence that the police are doing their job?
Okay. Process flow. If you have a complaint, come to the station, report the complaint, we lay a charge, open up the dockets, give us the evidence, what actually happened. In a process, indicate to us that so-and-so can also be a testimony to what my allegations are. Then we get the details of that person so that we can talk to him. And thereafter, be prepared to come to court and give evidence. Some of our community members are afraid to come out because of some of what the speakers have indicated, being afraid to be victimized and all those stuff. And as a result, in court, you need people who will give evidence. And the other one is this issue of not being, in cooperation with our communities. We as a police, if a police officer or investigating officer has got a case of somebody else, these two people, they must be partners. I must now and then indicate to the community member, this is how far I have went, I'm running short of this, can you assist me on this one? We must work as partners because this person is my client, to prove or to assist this particular complainant in court to achieve our successes. So I think, as I have heard, there are that lack, that we are not working closely with our communities. And that is one issue that we definitely need to work communities with our communities.
And speaking of communities, I'll come to you, both of you, sir, but we're here mainly because of the people, and I think it's important that we keep crossing to the audience and to hear the voices of people on the grassroots. Yes, sir. Please, can we get a microphone here?
Ki supporta ntate msebenzi. Msebenzi ahari. Detective wale kaofela. Hawasebetsi. Ke na le lebaka ntate. Kerekeng ya rona ba qekeditse high 4 mo Baptist. Ho nkuwe speaker, ho nkwa dintho tsohle moo. we are still investigating. And it happened that the mapolisa alinteng mo hasibana ba mo habadi tsebi di nomoro sa kusalkeshi ke batho ge sa tsebing ba tswa kae. Please ntate ho tlositswe batho na ba sebetsa mona na ba tseba hore msebetsi ba o etsa jwang. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Anyone else from the audience? Yes, let's get 2 or 3 more people.
Ngiyazibongela mphakathi. Ngiza la ku detective wethu la. Osiphethe ucommander. Ucommander mode ukhuluma ngeevidence. Evidence ufane ube nayo. Mina ngaba neevidence ephathekayo neevidence ezisubhlungu kimi. Yezwa. Ezisubhlungu ukuthi ngikatshwe ngembazo. Yabo. Yabona ngaba njani la? Ungibheke. Azange kube mnandi kimi ngilele esibhedlela. Yele 7 days ngiseBloemfontein. Icase bashintshana ngami. Icase mayiphethwe omunye. Mangilandelela unyaka nonyaka ngiya kabili. Nalo nyaka bengizoya futhi. Bavele bathi kimi spizi manje ngiyobabopha bakhipha amaven bathi sikhipha amaven. Leto namanje sangizosubhlungu. Ngoba abantu abangikapa abantu engibazi evidence abantu engibazi engababona 99.
Ngibonge lethuba engilitholayo. Nenkinga esihlangana nazo. Uma ngilalele la kuyaqaqa ukuthi na kune breakdown of communication. Cases are reported but nothing has been done. And again, you need to get who are these investigation officers. I think it's very important to transform even this SAPS. And you must expect service from them. But you almost told, okay, I'm a case I report or I go in the enzakalayo. That thing is painful. I think all of us collectively we must work together. We appreciate what has been done by this team, and we must take it forward. Another thing, we must not be scared of reporting any case, any crime. And we want to see the visibility of the police on the ground. Because these resources, cars, belong to us. They need to service us. And again, if I'm listening attentively, Agunama meetings ahlalayo maybe on monthly basis, whereby other things are reported. How far have we gone in investigating those crimes? I think it's very important. We need to sign a memorandum of understanding, of the record of understanding, how we must work together to save the lives of our community. We are approaching now the festive system. Ask yourself, what's going to happen? Even the patrolling, the SACPS must support all this patrolling. Even business people who cannot open a tavern for 24 hours. There must be a limit. If there's a limit, we know that there will be a patrol. If we say by 10 o'clock on Friday, as Queen, that's patrol. We must safeguard ourselves. And especially if the youth who are fathers and mothers of tomorrow. Sipege iksasali tukulenja ekon. Now you lenja ekon ngabe isiphatha kanjani. But it's very important to all stakeholders who must sit down and discuss all these issues which are affecting or killing our people. It's very important.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. Certainly appreciate it. You know, there's nothing as encouraging as an informed citizen who comes up with solutions, talking about sitting down as all the stakeholders in the community, memorandum of understandings to see how the community can be transformed so crime can be gotten rid of in this community. We haven't touched on vigilantism yet because our first half has been just inundated with people just wanting to vent out their frustrations and all the ills that are coming from this community with regards to communications between the crime fighters and the unofficial crime fighters, as well as the community members who are feeling that perhaps is it a lack of willingness from the police to do their job, or is it a lack of capacity from the police for them to be able to do their job? Well, we have to take a very short break. This is People's Imbizo. We're coming to you from Harry Smith, and we'll see you on the other side. Stay with us.